What a disaster. It's not looking very good whatsoever. I've come up to the Yorkshire Dales because I fancied to do something different, somewhere I haven't been for a long time. I come up to visit the Malham tree. I parked there overnight and disaster. Absolute shocking weather this morning. It's so drizzly, wet, sideways rain and wind, grey, claggy, pea soup, whatever you want to, it was a mess. So I didn't bother getting out of the van. I've now driven up to the Water Sinks car park, which is the main car park up on the top. And again, I'm waiting for Clive to turn up and hopefully anyone else, but I can't see anyone coming today. It's really quite disastery, horrible weather, and looking at the conditions, it's going to be like this all day. So I am not sure what I'm going to do for a video today. Complete disaster at the moment. Rain, wet, very low clouds, clagged in, no one around. There was a couple of walkers that's gone off walking. I'm going to get in the back now, make myself some breakfast, and then gosh only knows what we're going to do. So at this point we left the van and we started heading across the car park, but I had a few problems with my microphone. I hadn't actually switched my video recorder on at the time, and I was actually recording nothing when I was doing this. But we come across this plug hole type of thing, which the water was draining down into the ground, and it was absolutely amazing to see. Both me and Chris were blown away to see this stream that is now a river running down and dropping down into this hole, into this chasm, into the ground. And that is when we realised why it was called the Dry Valley. Everything beyond that point was bone dry, no water whatsoever. Absolutely amazing. So we stopped and took a few photographs. Heading down now into the Dry Valley, and it's very rocky down here and not very wheelchair friendly, but we're going to make our way down because this is now the reason I'm here. I wanted to come and have a look down here. I've never been down here before. I've seen it in Ellen Boness's guidebooks, and I think that's what gave me the inspiration to come down here. So I'll put a link to her books, and please do have a look at them because they are great inspiration for photography. And like I say, I haven't come down here to photograph this place, but we've seen something absolutely amazing, and I'm made up. I've got a couple of handheld shots that I think are good enough for today's shoot, really. But we are now heading into the valley. My plan going forward in 2023 was to make shorter videos of me less talking, but when I'm at places like this, I cannot stop talking. Me and Chris are like, oh my God, look at this, walk around this wall. We've come around this wall and look at the valley going down through there. That is astonishing. And there's also a beautiful picture here because the light's opening up at the back. So we're going up a little bit higher. I said to Chris, get up a little bit higher. So he's gone up a bit higher. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to get my camera out, take a couple of handheld shots because that's all you need with these cameras now. The image stabilization is brilliant. So you don't really need a tripod all the time, but a shot that direction and a shot that direction, just purely for memory, if nothing else. But I'm really looking forward to getting around that corner now. So we just rounded the corner at the first little bendy bit. There's a cave behind us. A couple of young lads have just gone up and had a look inside. He said it doesn't go in that far, but it does look dark. But look at this down here, this chasm where the river used to run gorging, bellowing its way through here back in the Ice Age and all that. And it's starting to open up now and look more like what you imagine Malham Cove to be. Now, I've never actually been to Malham Cove. In all the years I've been taking photographs, it's one place I've never actually been to. And you can see now how it's all starting to open up behind me. So let's get cracking on. Just opening up now, isn't it? Making our way down that little bit of a steep valley bit was a bit interesting, especially when I've got a bit of a dodgy knee. I don't know why, but my right knee seems to be playing up these days, the last couple of weeks. Must be getting old. But the light in front of us now, phenomenal. I just said to some lady hikers that we just passed, said, don't forget to look behind you, as the photography saying goes, and they look behind, like, wow. And even now, just look at the light shining on these rocks. See if I can show you on this. The light shining on the rocks there with a dark sky behind it just looks phenomenal. Really does. We've made it to the end now. We are now fastly approaching Malham Cove, and this is what I've come to see. But unfortunately, with the rocks and the limestone being so slippy, I'm not going to be walking on it probably and taking any risks. But if I can get to some interesting shots, I'll get the camera out and show you what we're looking at. So we've made it up onto the top, and we took the grassy route to get onto this bit. Like I say, we're having this bad knee at the moment that's clicking and clunking as I'm walking. I don't want to be slipping on the limestone, and I know from up on the other limestone I've been on, I know how slippy it is, but this looks really quite, actually, I've just noticed how symmetrically square these shapes are, which looks really like almost man-made, which is really, really weird. Very much different to the limestone I'm used to seeing. But I'm blown away by this valley, the dry valley which is behind us, and absolutely blown away. It's amazing. And all I've got to do now is get to the edge to have a look down to this 80-metre drop down off the Malham Cove. It had to be done, didn't it? Getting on the edge is one of those things that I kind of live for. The light out there is something else. Now the wind's died down a little bit where I'm stood, and because of the wind blowing across the stones, it's actually drying them out a little bit, so I felt quite confident to walk across them with using my stick. And I've come to the edge by picking the safest steps I possibly can. But wow, 80 metres, yes it is. So my plan now is to get a couple of handheld shots. I don't know if I'm going to get the tripod out or not, but I've carried it all this way, so it seems silly not to. I've taken a couple of handheld panoramics already, and they look pretty awesome, I think. But it's really hard to get the scale of this place in a photo. I think we're going to have to go around over onto that side, looking back at this, because then you're going to get that nice sheer drop. So I think that'll be the plan. But yeah, we've got some lovely shapes and textures going on in the distance, so if I can find some of these crags that look interesting, I'll put a wide angle lens on and get the crags and then have the background. See what we can do. Definitely another one of those true wonders of nature. When you come to places like this, it's absolutely phenomenal to see. It can be quite treacherous, so if you're not good on your feet and you're not got the confidence to walk on it, I really wouldn't recommend it. Now the wind's got up a little bit and I've got my trousers unpopped, so I'm a bit like a wind sail at the moment, so I'm not too close to the edge, but you can see I'm still up high, I'm still up looking across these crags, and I'm just looking for sort of nooks and crannies and the cleats and stuff in between the rocks, and just trying to find some sort of interest and getting something that sort of makes it look good. But it's quite hard, they're quite tight knit and quite close together, and then you're sort of just looking out into the abyss. So I do like the big dark grey sky over the top of the sunlight lighting on the rock, so I've got a couple of images that I think work quite well. I've got a bit of a V shape behind me that I used, and that looks pretty good. And I've looked at the river, which is down in front of you, or down in front of me. So the river down there, when it's shining, also looks pretty good leading the way. But yeah, these cleats and nooks, is it nooks and creeks or cleats and creets, are quite hard to get the lines to make them work, but doesn't stop us from trying, does it? It certainly doesn't stop us taking photographs, that's for sure. So are we recording? I've got myself a new cameraman today. Yeah, so I thought I'd do a little bit of recording just to show you what it is I'm doing. I'm actually walking across the sort of the softer side. The rocks over that side are quite jagged. The rocks over this side seem to be very weather worn, and I just literally, by picking the camera up and moving it around, you're getting these really nice shapes and swirls. So with having the camera on bracketing, and I think I might lift my ISO up a little bit to 400, and I'm just looking for something that catches my eye and just sort of working my way through the cracks and coming down low and getting wide and just seeing if I can find something that sort of, they look like claws, and some of them really are claw-like, and they're just so interesting. I think it's well worth having a few minutes and walking around this little lot here. It's only a sort of like 20-30 foot sort of square, and it's just, all the shapes are just amazing. They really do look good. That'll do us. Alright. How have I got so much mud up the inside of my legs? And you haven't? Found Loch Ness Monster. Foil.
It does look like it's like a jelly mould.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a little Loch Ness Monster.
And you wonder since the erosion got worse because of the acid rain. The land down there was
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely not a Compton day out unless you get wet and covered in snow and rain, is it? Well, we've just had hailstones and rain. It's coming down real thick and fast now, and all these people are now on these rocks that have all suddenly turned from dry to slippery. So I hope they all get off there safe. Well, it's definitely not a day out unless we get covered in snow and hail and rain and all sorts. And those rocks now are going to get suddenly very, very slippery. So we're going back over the grass. We're going to head back up the dry valley in the wet and yeah, go and get ourselves a cup of coffee back in the van. It's only about 1.5 miles back, but we'll be all right. So I'm going to end the video somewhere around here. I've come around the other side of the Malham Cove now, and I'm standing. I'm just going to put my stick down so I can show you what we're doing, because I'm a very, very, very long way up and there is not a lot between me and plummeting to my death. But I just wanted to show you this. The view here is absolutely astounding. You've got this beautiful river that's made all the better by the heavy rain shower we've had. And remember, I told you earlier on about the water going down that hole. This is where it comes out at the bottom of this cove, almost positive, and it's running its way down, and because the light shining on it, we've got light rays coming over in the background. We've got absolutely everything going on. This is stunning. What a place it is. But if I spin you around, this is where I'm stood. So we are stood on the top of this, looking down 80 meters down into the bottom of Malham Cove, and I was earlier on stood on that little bit of grassy patch just over there where the green stuff is. So it just goes to show you how far I'm willing to go for my own personal excitement. Yeah, what a place. Head back to the car and go and get that coffee. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the pictures. I hope you've enjoyed the journey, and I broke all my New Year's resolutions. Said I was going to do a short video and not take so many pictures. What an absolute joke that was. Till next time, ciao for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe, give us that thumbs up, and if you enjoyed this sort of content, please let me know, because I will carry on making it. Or if you would rather me do some short little videos all about how to put your camera on a tripod, then let me know, even though I probably won't end up doing them. But what a place this is. Malham Cove and the trip from Water Sink car park done. Bye bye, ciao for now.